Hello, everyone. My name is Wenam with Power of Tigray Media. Today, I'm here with Naomi. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Naomi. I'm a high school student, obviously from Tigray. Yeah.
So, I know that you have a club at your high school. How did your group start it?
Okay, um, so Tigrayan Student Union, also known as Garfield High School for Tigray. Um, my good friend Izana actually, and my other friend Lydia had actually started the club. And then I'm in ASB, so I'm a part of the student body club. And when we were passing the clubs, like I had heard Tigray Student Union, and everybody looked at me like, "Oh, but isn't that your club?" And I was like, "No," but like everybody knows like my activism for Tigray, so everybody was like, "Wait, why aren't you part of it?" And I was like, "Okay." So then I joined, and I had talked to Izana about it. And in the beginning of the year, you're given a form if you want to start any kind of club. If you want to start like a Black student union, like any club, you're given the option to start it. So he had put in the form, like this was like in midst of the war, like especially when things were very like tense. And he had submitted a form for it, and obviously like my club approved it, like my group approved it. And then I had texted him and I was like, hey, like I really want to join this club. Like I feel like we could do big things. Like we have a few students at this school. Like honestly, the Tigrayan population at Garfield is very small. And so he was like, yeah, da da da. And he's the president. He's the official president of the club. Lydia is the vice president of the club, and I'm the secretary. And another good friend of ours is Aman, and he's the treasurer. So we just came together, and yeah.
That's amazing. Like, I know that like you guys don't have a lot of Tagaro people at your school, so it's amazing that you guys even like started that with
Yeah, yeah,
very few people.
yeah.
But like, did your school like the idea of it immediately? Because I know my school has hesitated when I talk about Tigray because they're scared people will be offended.
Yeah. So in the beginning, like we had conversations about the things that we were going to speak about, because the way we introduced the club is a meeting that I hosted, and me and my friend Lydia had hosted in a Spanish classroom. Honestly, like this was before the club even officially started. It was really just me and my friend Lydia just speaking about like the crisis and things like that. But before we spoke about it, before we like went up front and did the presentation, we had spoke about the things to talk about and to not talk about, to avoid controversy and to avoid the high school community around us from like being confused about what was going on, because obviously there's other students who have different opinions about what's happening. So we just like talked about not like kind of at the end of the day, not everything's not going to be politics, but politics is always going to be brought up. So we just talked about not talking about politics, not denying anything that happens around us, just keeping it strictly about our people and specifically about our people, not saying what we support or not, because like that starts controversy. We tried our best to not have other students, regardless of what country you're from in East Africa or etc., like to not have them feel offended, but to make them still feel accepted, regardless of what their opinions are to us, for us to still be peaceful to other people, so like it doesn't cause problems to our club. Um, Unfortunately, there was a situation where a student had a problem about why I had answered a question during one of my meetings, and the student had asked me why Tigrayans don't claim to be Ethiopian anymore, and I was explaining why, and the student had a problem with it, kind of made it a big deal, and that was, thank God, like our only situation that we had. We had no negative feedback from any students, because we just try to keep it as positive and as specifically for humanitarian purposes as possible.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's really good that you guys are focusing on bringing bringing like bringing attention on what's happening rather than starting problems. I think that's
Yeah,
really brave of you guys.
exactly.
Um, do you think that Tagaru youth being leaders for Tigray is important?
Yes. I think that time has changed since before. Things like this generation has been evolving. We have very, very intelligent youth. We have people that really care, that are strong, that need to be a part of the decision making. Um, I feel like the future is in like the new generation's hands, um, and so I feel like us with the experiences that we've had, with the things that we've witnessed, with like our families passed down like experiences, like I feel like we're able to like actually make a change. We're more woke than the past generation.
Yeah.
I feel like that has a very big effect, and it's very important that we are the future leaders for Tigray.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially since many of us have grown up claiming Ethiopia, having
Yes.
so much friends that just like, well, now they support the war. They have all these, like, I guess, like people that like don't appreciate Tigray. And it's important for us to speak up about it because we've been through so much hate, even on social media. Speaking about it, it just gives you so much hate. So it's just I also think that it's important.
Yeah, very. And it's important that we teach like the next generation about our history. Like for example, me, I was taught not as much as I was in the past 2 years. Like I didn't know a lot of the things that I did know,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's important that we like teach and educate the next generation about what our people, like the history of our people, the history of our culture, etc. Like it's very important that
Yeah.
we
Yeah. What kind of meetings does your group hold and what do you guys do?
Our meetings, we host them on every Friday during lunchtime. It's only once a week during lunch. We usually talk about updates, about what's happening. Right now we're trying to do a fundraiser to raise money to donate to the Asmalash Foundation because it's not that known. We've been focusing on um, updating other people, focusing on making flyers, um, posters around our school. We did a FIDA learning thing with a few students that actually know the alphabet, and we talk about the history of Tigray. We really just try to keep it as like easygoing as possible. We try doing positive things after we talk about a very hard topic. Yeah, it's really a good space for the Tigray community at our high school because you don't really see other people like us, and for a little space to have with each other, to connect, to talk, to be emotional with each other. It's very, yeah, that's really what we do.
I think that's amazing. You mentioned the what was it? Asmalu.
Asmalash Foundation.
Yeah, can you explain more about that?
The Asmalash Foundation, they have a few refugee camps in Sudan, and it's very like underground. Nobody really talks about it that much. We wanted to prioritize that because our family's there. We have a lot of family in Sudan, like as many of us know, and they try their best to keep our community fed. They try their best to help us out. Yeah, so because it's not talked about that much, we really wanted to try our best to help them out. They don't have that many following. They are not posted that much, so we just try to help out the ones that try their best.
Yeah, I think it's great. Like even me, I didn't know much about it until you
Yeah.
just brought that up. But also, like, what would you say you've learned about yourself since the war started?
I've definitely learned that I can't have high expectations of people.
Yeah.
I've lost so many family members over like ignorance, like I've lost so many friends over ignorance, and it's really just mind-blowing the way like the expectation you can have on family. It's not friends only, but family, people that have raised you, people that you've grew up with diapers with. Like it's insane to look at them and say you're my sister and then them not care about how you've been doing the past 2 years. So I definitely say that I'm very more skeptical about the relationships that I make with people that are more like with me, people that are from the same country as I am.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely would say that I need to keep my eyes open more.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Do you think social media has made it better for us to Garu?
Yes, I think that social media really put us out there. I don't think that I feel like social media did have a more impact than protests did. Obviously, like I said before, the future, like our generation right now, regardless if you're Tigrayan or not, we are like the future. Like we are the people that are make the biggest impacts. We are the people that are going to be reposting. We're the people that are on our phones 24/7. We're going to see things. We're going to talk about it. This generation is way more woke than before. So I feel like the reposting, these Instagrams that keep us updated, all of these Twitter, especially Twitter, honestly, it's been very helpful to let other people that have no idea or don't live in areas where we protest to actually learn about it. It gives people the time to read bullet points and, continue going like, oh, wow, like really, this is really happening. And then they continue going. Like, I don't think that you don't get the opportunity to learn exactly what's happening from a protest, but
Yeah.
protests are very much still impactful.
Yeah, it's so impactful, and also like it just gave us a way to connect, like us Tagaru, and especially us youth. Like it gave us a way to connect and like understand each other, you know?
It really did. I feel like I have found and like I've definitely found a community, like a friend group, especially through my activism. Like I feel like this war was terrible, obviously, but it did have its positive outcomes. It's definitely connected our community than it did before. Like it made us drop issues with each other. Like we're definitely more in touch. So like that's another reason why social media has made an impact. I've definitely made way more Tagaru family members, friends, people that I now replace and call my siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. What would winning this war do for us as Tagaru?
Um, I definitely say that winning this war would help our situation.
Yeah.
And honestly, like it's not even about like winning the war, but it's like not just winning the war for like, to say that we're just strong, but it's winning the war for our people, for our kids, for our sisters, for our mothers. Like I feel like in the situation, it's not black and white, it's not really like win or lose at the end of the day. We still lost a ton, so I wouldn't really call it winning the war because we've definitely lost so much more. Uh, I think that to liberate and like to free our people from the struggles that they've been experiencing from the oppression and it just not being in Tigray is like what really bothers me more because it happens in like outside the borders. Um, I feel like it'll definitely make a difference. Like I don't even know how to explain it. It'll feed our families. It will, get our families back on their feet, make us 10 times stronger. You know us. We're like that.
Yeah, definitely. Um, you kind of already answered this in like two questions ago, but like, do you think that this war like has changed you as a person? But like, how has it changed you?
Yeah, this war has definitely changed me as a person. I feel like I've became more understanding on other people's like situations. Obviously, like the Palestinian conflict, things that like what's happening in Ukraine, like other world issues. I would still talk about them, but I never actually felt what was going on. So it was more lighter to me than it was affecting me. You always think, oh, I'm not going to be that person, or it's not going to happen to me. But like, it did. And so it definitely made me realize that like um, cherish every moment you can with your family members. It made me regret a lot of the times that I would tell my family that I don't want to go back, that I want to stay in America, that
Yeah,
I want to celebrate my birthday here. Like I definitely regret all of those times. I think it made me a stronger individual. I'm more confident than I was before. You know, being the
Mhm.
voice for your people does, you have no choice but to, you know? So, like, regardless if you're shy, like, at the end of the day, you gotta do it. You're left with no choice.
Yeah.
So it
Right.
definitely has made me confident. It made me understand the world from a different perspective. Um, and it made me feel open to make more relationships within my community. I before this, you wouldn't catch me, you wouldn't see me with, like, a lot of Habeshas. I would be with, like, the like, outside the Habesha community, but
Yeah.
now I'm definitely sticking with my Tagaru brothers and sisters.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you when you like, especially when you said that it's made you feel more for the situations like Palestine, Ukraine, like all these other countries are going through stuff. Like before, of course, I felt something, but not as much as now because we have been going through it, you know,
Yeah,
for
100%.
18 months. Like we know how it feels. We know
Yeah,
that pain.
yeah.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Naomi, for joining us today. I really
Yeah,
appreciate you.
yeah, of course, anytime.
Anyways, that's all for today. Make sure to like and subscribe to Guide to Air. No.
Yes.